Welcome, everyone. It is just past 9, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the September 5th Policy Committee meeting. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Ms. Schaefer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's nice to see everyone and obviously be talking about policy because that's fun. Maybe unlike other committees, just to frame some of our work for the year, we have the advantage of trying to be a little more predictable about our schedule. And so this agenda today lays out some things we'll talk about today and what we anticipate will be upcoming this fall and October and November as discussion items today, but then for action in October and November. So when we get to those discussion items, I'll point out like what that timeline will look like and what you can anticipate hearing from us as administration recommends changes or not to some of these future items. For today, just as an overview, and we're going to have some guest speakers today to talk about nutritional services, and I know they're on their way. At the top of our agenda, we have 2 items that are proposed for adoption. These items were discussed in the spring. They are connected to an outcome of an audit that required us to make certain adjustments to those particular policies, which we did review in the spring. And so the AR, in fact, that you see there was implemented because it's an AR and doesn't require board action, but needed to be updated. So you are being asked, and the recommendation of the administration is for you to approve for adoption 257 and 827. So we'll talk about that in a second and try to answer any questions that you may have. They have not changed since you last saw them in the spring. And then we'll move on to some, I think, more interesting topics, perhaps to some. Nutritional services will have a presentation today to talk about their work and sort of policy in action, and then answer questions that you might have about some minor changes that we're doing to policy 808 in particular, and some changes that we made last year to policy 812 in case you have any additional questions about that. So without further ado, and if there are any questions or adjustments that the committee would like to make at this time. Okay. So relative to our first item, are there any questions from the board on either policy 257 or 827?
Actually a question. It's just that as I was reading this, I realized that there's the language of PTA/PTO, and we use HSA typically, I think. Okay. I don't know if that's something that.
Good catch.
Okay.
I think that's like sort of more
standard.
Could you do?
So on, for example, it's kind of throughout the policy. So I was figuring if you were going to make the change, you could control F, for PTA/PTO. But there's, for example, on page 5 of the packet, page 2 of the policy.
I see it now. Yep, we'll take care of that.
Yeah,
thank you.
And it's just throughout.
Yep, thank you.
Also, board member Herman is calling in. Jason, did you have anything to add or questions about the 2 we were proposing to move forward?
No, thank you.
Okay. With that, I think we can move forward onto our next item.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mel, you didn't have
anything else?
No, I was looking at something, but I just didn't, it's changed now and I'm good.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
All right. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Mo Hussein and Kendall Stokes to the board table. They are our nutritional services leadership team. They will do some introductions about the scope of their work. Just to frame the purpose here today is, again, to give some insight into the policy and action, the color commentary, so to speak, of what it looks like on a day-to-day basis of what we put in policy and how that outcome of delivering food, nutritional food to our students, what that looks like and what it entails. We did, in the spring, kind of do a breakdown with our activities directors and sort of behind the scenes look of what is involved in putting those things together. And it's not just, it's great experiences for kids, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. And in particular in nutritional services, the compliance pieces, the budgetary aspects that are different for nutritional services that I think will be helpful in giving the board and community an opportunity to ask questions about what this means in policy and give that context. So I'm so happy that you're here today, joining us this first week of school. Nothing's going on, I know. So without further ado, is it all right if we just start the presentation? Great, thank you.
Right, okay, thank you. Can you hear me? Closer to me? Okay. How about now? Test, good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Mo Hussein. I'm the Director of Nutritional Services, and my partner, Kendall Stokes, and she's Assistant Director. So a little bit about ourselves first. Kendall? Yes? Yes, you are. I told you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm the Assistant Director of Nutritional Services. My name is Kendall Stokes. I have a background in nutrition. I got my bachelor's from Cornell University in nutritional sciences, and I have my master's in clinical nutrition. I am a registered dietitian, and I'm also licensed in the state of Pennsylvania to practice, and I am specialized in school nutrition. And I have 8 years of experience in this role. 3 years, I'm starting my third year with the district this year. And my main role on the team is menu planning, employee enrichment, and being a school dietitian.
Thank you. Kendall is very humble right here, by the way. So Kendall, like she mentioned, she's dietitian, but she doesn't get to be dietitian all day long. She has to run around and do a lot of operation work as well. My name is Mo Hussein. My background is business management and finance. I've been in the district for about 20 years, and before this I came from the restaurant industry. So I program oversight, financial management, procurement is my main role. Kendall and I both overlap a lot in a lot of menu and financial and operation and running employees as well. Next. So enough about us, our program. So we are self-operated program. Some districts utilize contracted management companies. The big difference here is we are district employees. Our staff are also district employees, but we also run in a separate fund. We are entrepreneur fund that's separated from the general fund. Our free and reduced percentage in the schools here is 16%. And last year we served over 500,000 lunch meals. These are complete meals, not including a la carte or snacks, and about 250,000 breakfast meals. We utilize scratch cooking a lot, and we always increase our scratch cooking. Next. Our staff, the team. So we are about 70 people right now. We're looking to add 5 more. Number of staff in each building depends on the size of the building, number of students, and number of meals being served. We also have a secretary in the office and production manager who help with inventory. Next. The required training. So what you see here is a required annual training by the state and the federal government. However, we do more. And we utilize a minimum training for the beginning of the school year. During the school year, we utilize what we need according to what we see in the field, according to feedback we may get from parents, from administration staff. And the topics are
So our topics generally range on nutrition, operations, administration, and communication and marketing. However, as Mo said, we adapt our trainings every year. We like to make sure that we are keeping up to date, we're moving into the future, and also if we see things that happen while we're running day to day, we like to make trainings so that we can teach people how to adjust.
Okay, these are daily duty for our kitchen staff, prepping, cooking, serving, while ensuring food safety as well, taking temperature, filling out government forms. There are a lot of them, and we'll go in details in a little bit. But mainly customer service, smile and be happy and serve kids. Just a scope of our work back here in the office. This is just the back end of running the operation in all 11 schools, include keeping, again, HACCP compliance, food safety, orders, inventory. There's big financial budget including all of this, and training as well.
What does HACCP stand for?
HACCP is
Hazard analysis
Yes.
and critical control points. And so basically that is how we do our SOPs to make sure that we are in compliance with food safety at all times. All right, so I'm going to go over our lunch options. So a thing that those past two slides don't really speak to is the fact that that's just a snapshot of things that we could be doing during the day. We like to think of ourselves as basically one of the biggest restaurants in Pennsylvania. We serve breakfast, we serve lunch to all of our children, and everyone has access to it. So a big thing when I'm making the menus to look into is the fact that I know that kids everywhere are picky, and we want to make sure that they are getting all the nutrients that they need. So I like to have as many options as possible and as many options that our kitchens are able to make so that the kids can pick a lunch that feels right for them. So these are our entrees. We always have the main hot option, which is our hotline. So that's like an A lunch. Then we always have an equivalent hot vegetarian option. We started that about 2 years ago. So for example, if the main lunch option is a hamburger, we will put out a veggie burger as well so that vegetarian students can have a hot option. We also utilize garden salads, hummus box, some butter sandwich, and also a low sugar cereal for lunch. And we'll get into low sugar because that's part of one of our initiatives for this school year. And like I said, those are our entrees. We also offer an option of fresh fruits and vegetables every day. They get a grain, which is whole grain. They get a choice of milk, and also they get a protein source, which comes with the meal. At our middle schools, because they are bigger schools, we are able to provide more. And I think the kids, since they're older, they like to have more options. So we have, once again, the hot line with the hot vegetarian option. We have our pizza line, our chicken tender line, our garden salad, our create your own deli sandwich, which the kids love, Uncrustable meal, and then the hummus box. And then to end at our high school, which is our biggest schools, and they utilize what is called lunch and learn. So that is everyone in the school is allowed to come down to the lunch in 1 hour, and it's a very fun time for everyone. So we like to think of it as kind of like a food court. So we like to have different sections for people to go to so they know what they want, they can get it, and they can go. So we have our main option, the hot line, with the vegetarian option, of course. We have our restaurant line, which I kind of molded around a lot of the restaurants that you would see over at Suburban Square to try to cut down competition, because we are a restaurant, so we have to cut down on competition. We have our pasta line, our create your own salad bar, our hot grab and go, and our cold grab and go, and those are prepackaged items for the students who really just want to get something and leave and go to a class, sit outside with their friends, something like that. We have our pizza line, create your own deli bar, because they're older and it's fun, and then we have our specialty line, which is the grill. That's every day.
So I love pictures. This is actually what we have at Lower Marion High School. This is a part of the deli bar. You can have your sandwich and have a panini pressed. So if you like to go for lunch, you're invited. Dr. Anil is paying because nothing is free here, okay? Right? You said? Okay. And this is actually a pasta bar over also at Lower Marion High School. and a salad bar as well. It's every day. Kids get to choose. You see vegetarian options every day, hot and cold. It is a restaurant, like Kendall said, it's competition, and we have to be competitive. This will lead us to a program funding. So where do we get the money from? We get the money from the sales, meal sales, and federal reimbursement. In order for us to get the federal funds, we have to actually serve meals. So if kids don't like the meals, they don't take it, we don't get paid. We are a standalone fund. We cover our own expenses. And so far, we've been doing good, covering everything, not using any general fund money. But we also have to continue and be competitive and offer options for the kids to take. Some of the new initiative.
So this is the most fun part. We get to talk about our initiatives that we are very proud of. Some are current, as in we started them this year, and some are current as when we first became a team a couple years ago, we started pushing these items out. So the first one that we have is low sugar breakfast options. This is something that actually we worked with not only the government, but also with our nutrition parent committee, which we'll talk about next. It is something that the parents have been wanting to see, and it's been something that is a passion project of mine as well. So we added a hot protein option to every day, all grades. And then we also added low sugar cereal options for breakfast breads, that are less than 6 grams of added sugar per 28 gram serving. And we also added more low sugar cold protein options that have less than 12 grams of added sugar per 170 grams, which is about 6 ounces. Sorry if to speak in grams, but that's kind of how things work on this side. Another passion project of ours is no artificial dyes. So we were able to remove all items with artificial dyes from our menus and order guides this year. And we have also been urging our vendors to stop using artificial dyes. And we've been advocating with these vendors and also with our buying group to have more natural dye or dye-free options added to school nutrition products. So that's pretty big for us. We've also, like I said, collaborate with families often. Not only do we talk to families every day over the phone, but we do have a parent nutrition committee that meets monthly. This year we are alternating the months Thursdays and Fridays so that we can get more participation. If anyone's interested, please let me know and email me because I would like to add you. I love to see more faces. We like to do healthy events for middle school and elementary school, and if anyone knows a way to do it for the high school that makes them think it's cool, we take any idea. But right now we have Tasty Tuesdays for the elementary schools, and we have Would You Try Wednesdays for the middle schools. And as you can see here, we have, I think the top one, both of them are our bok choy, which we did in last May, and it was a huge hit. The kids loved bok choy.
This is a sampling events for the high schools. So if a vendor comes to us and say, I would like to sell you, let's say, what's in here, dumplings. Said, sure, bring samples, give a free samples to students. If they like it, we're buying. If they don't like it, we're not buying. It is as simple as this. So we always bring companies to schools to offer samples. We run a vote for the kids. Tell us if they like it or not. If they like it, we'll buy it. If we don't, because again, this is for them. We like them to have fun while meeting the guidelines as well and regulation. Breakfast is free for everybody in the state. Does everybody know this? Okay, good. So the challenge with breakfast is the limited time. Buses are arriving, traffic, kids are afraid to be late for class, or they're actually late for class. So we've been taking initiative over the years and expanding our offering. To the left, you'll see at Billman Hills Elementary School. We started this year to have a breakfast cart right at the bus stop. As they're coming in, the first thing they get is a breakfast bag. We also have the same one at Black Rock, started 2 or 3 years ago. Pelican Middle School is the same. They have breakfast carts upstairs. And Lower Marion High School will start next week. This is a building by building initiative. For some schools, the cafeteria is just easy access from the entrance. Some other buildings, it's hard to get to the cafeteria. So whatever it is, we work with the building administration and we'll figure it out. This is very also close to our heart. We collaborate with other departments, special education, work experience, and we support them in their work experience learning. Here is the Brew Crew Cafe at Harriton. We actually have an espresso machine, and some of the students are learning how to make coffee. At Lower Marion, we have a snack cart, we have vending program, and I'm sorry, I have some pictures for Lower Marion, but I missed it. No, I didn't add it, I was wrong, that was me. But yes, we have it at both high schools. Basically, whatever the teacher needs, we can support them with equipment, training, and supplies. So, Kendra got a lot of questions, and she'd like to share the answers here.
Yes, so we do get a lot of frequently asked questions as a department that I wanted to put in the slide that we could talk about it. We get plenty of questions, but these are the main ones that we get repeatedly. So we get, are the snack or meal items you use the same ones I found in the store? And the answer is actually no. So we do not use any retail product. All of our product is school nutrition approved or CN approved. CN is child nutrition. So they have special labels. And right now, like I said before, we were advocating for more less artificial dye items. That is something that the child nutrition programs are all advocating for, to push for that for our buying, because manufacturers only make a small amount of child nutrition approved items, and those items are higher in whole grains, they're lower in sodium and sugar, and also now less artificial dyes. So all of our items are, I would say, and I hate saying this as a dietitian, but healthier, air quotes, than the ones that you would see. So even if you were to see something like on our snack list, a Dorito, it's actually a smaller bag, there's less in the bag, it's low fat, low sodium, and now it has less artificial dyes, and also it's whole grain as it is corn. Another question we get is, do you deny meals to students who don't have funds in their account? The answer to that is no. Every child that goes through our line gets a meal, no matter what they have in their account. We are like I said, we're in the business of feeding children. We like to make sure that they have breakfast and lunches every day. So we never deny a meal to a student that does not have funds. Another fun question I get, because I wish I could answer it in the other way, is, can you put rare imported vegetable something on the menu? And my answer personally is, I would love to. However, we cannot, and the reason for this is that we do have to follow government standards. One of the biggest rules we have right now is Buy American. So 90% of our items that we purchase needs to be from America. As we get closer to 2030, 2031 school year, that is when it's going to be 95%. So we really need to focus on buying from our local vendors, which is also something that we've been doing this year. I think we forgot to put it in our initiative section, but we've been reaching out to local farmers and also doing a produce co-op so we can get more fresh fruits and vegetables in. So we like to focus in on that rather than importing from places that we can't get. Another place.
We have too many initiatives.
We have a lot of initiatives. But the other portion of this is we have to buy in bulk. We have a lot of kids to feed, as you guys saw from the snapshot slide. So if it's not an item that we can get for everyone, we don't put it on the menu. We like to make sure that everyone has access to all of our items. Another question we get sometimes is, can we get expensive meat item to put on the menu? And the answer to that is also no, unless we can get a great deal from somewhere. Because we have a set price of what we can charge for lunches. And everything that we make fits within that price. If we were to get more expensive items, that would increase the lunch price, which would not make a lunch accessible to every student. So that is something that we need to look into as well. But there's reasons why we can't get certain items to put on the menu. And then the last thing I get a lot is, and I think this is great that people want to share, can I cook something at home and bring it in for all the students to try? And the answer to that is no, and that's a health department rule. All of our kitchens are licensed kitchens by the health department. We get inspected twice a year, every year, and we cannot have anything served to a student that is not from a licensed kitchen and not one of our kitchens. So I always say thank you for the thought, but unfortunately we cannot do that. If you want to join the parent committee and then we can find a way to do a tasting on it and we can cook it in our kitchen, then sure.
Thank you, Kendall. Just a couple comments about, so we do not deny anybody lunch meal. However, the student's account will get charged. And we send negative balance notification to parents every month. Every month, yeah. If a parent will ask us to deny the child a meal, we'll absolutely do it. So if they don't want to be responsible for the payment. To Kendall's point too, our lunch prices are $4.50 for high school and $3.50 for elementary school. So it's same food you'll get at Ardmore for $8, $9. That's what we do. So we have this limited amount to work with. We utilize a lot of bulk purchases, and we look for good deals, and we look for direct shipment to kind of save the cost. So, thank you, everyone. Any questions?
I do. Okay. Did you want to say something? Okay.
Yes. Thank you both for making this presentation. It was really interesting. As an HSA member, I've seen many of those presentations, but this was much more encompassing than the ones I've seen in the past.
I have to give credit to Kendall for this. And I'm not being humble, I'm just being honest.
Thanks. Well, thank you, Ken. Thank you. I had some questions about, I wondered how you're balancing the fact that you have to have low sugar, no dyes, no salt, and taste. I mean, I see in the videos looks like you're doing a lot of more prepped food, because my experience in the past has been there was buying of boxed foods that was just cooked and it was low in sugar, and the kids hated it. And I'm just wondering how, and that's what I was wondering, how you were balancing that to get the kids a taste that the kids like.
That's a big challenge. So it took Kendall a lot of running math in her end. But first we get a good recipe and we try it, and then Kendall in her end, she will run her nutritional analysis and she will give us a little bit of changes. So utilizing herbs instead of salt, for example. Adding more vegetables, add more flavor. What else do you use?
And I think what you touched on, where you said a lot of things coming out of the prepackaged bag and it wasn't tasting good.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we are pushing for more of scratch cooking, because we can easily we train our staff often and a lot, and I know they love it because I do the trainings and I make sure that they do. But we have great staff and they have a lot of skills, and I think that's the part that makes this work, because I can come to them with a recipe and say, hey, I've made this, put it in practice, we'll do taste testing and let me know if the kids like it. And if the kids don't like it, I don't menu it. If they do like it, we'll do it, and I'll teach the rest of the staff how to do it. I think it's very important to do scratch cooking for that reason, because there are a lot of new regs coming down the line, some that I agree with, some that I don't, right? But there's things that I think if this is what is needed of us, and this is going to help the kids be healthier and also help them like get food in them every day and learn better in classrooms because they have a full stomach, like we'll put in the work. We're willing to do so.
That's great. I'm really pleased to hear that, because that's something that was always a bone of contention that with a lot of parents, and because kids didn't want to eat in the cafeteria. And I'm hoping that it'd be interesting to see if there's any data about that, if it's increased since you've come on board. And then I was really happy to hear about you talking about doing crop shares and trying to get involved with that. And I was wondering if you've ever looked into, I'm seeing a lot of talk, and I was just visiting another city, and there's a lot of like the vegetables that the grocery stores don't like, and there was a lot of people that are actually packaging it up and selling it, the vegetables that just are kind of not perfect. And is there something that'd be interesting from the school district perspective that they could work with farmers with that as well?
Common market?
So we do utilize with Common Market something like that.
Yeah.
The issue is, and as much like I love the imperfect.
Yeah, they're perfect. That's what it's
Yeah,
called.
they're great. The issue is, once again, and always we run into this problem, is bulk buying. So unless there is like a large amount that we can get to all of our schools, it's hard to just get a small amount and say, okay, this school gets this, but the rest of the schools won't have it because X, Y, Z.
Okay, yeah.
understand that.
Also, in regards to fresh fruit and vegetable, we utilized government funding programs, Department of Defense, DoD, and we use about $50,000 a year worth of fresh, local fruit and vegetables.
Okay. Okay, and then last question, I'd like, I was wondering how you're handling all the drinks with the sugar dyes and that, like, that's almost all the drinks, and because even like juice has a lot of sugar in it that's natural, but still, so, I mean, how are you, is there a lot of artificial sweeteners coming through, or are you just trying to stay to juices and water? And
Yes, so the juices that we put out during lunch for meal purposes are 100% full strength fruit juice.
Okay.
So there's no added sugars in them. It's just fruit juice, and they're only served in 4-ounce sizes. Our a la carte items for like snack purposes, most of them as well, because they have to be Smart Snack approved by the government for school nutrition, are also made with natural fruit juice. I know I get a lot of questions about our Izzy's. They are fruit juice with seltzer water added to them. If you look on the label, it's just fruit juice, water, I think carbonated water or something it says on there. And like you said, fruits do have a lot of sugar in them. It's a carb, so there's a lot. But we are mainly focusing right now on the added sugar portion. We really, when it comes to artificial sweeteners, that is something that we will probably look into more next year. But off the top of my head, I don't think any of our items have it.
okay,
Like they might have trace of it, but I don't think they have like it as a main ingredient.
okay.
But that is something that, thank you for bringing up, and that's something I will look into.
Okay, okay, appreciate it. Keep up the good work. I know it's hard because you are operating as your own business, so I applaud you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for being here, number one, and number two, for your work and your leadership. I was able to, Mo and Kendall invited me to have lunch with their staff before school started, and I was able to talk to a lot of them, and it's evident that they're happy to be here, and they are skilled and talented, and that we owe that all to you. So, Kendall, you said something, and I wrote it down, it was important. The kids will learn better if their stomachs are full. And I think that's really at the heart of what we do and what you do as well. The participation rate, all the meals you serve, things like that. At the core of everybody's needs, right? Food is at the top of the list, and if that's something the kids don't have to worry about and are excited about, it's really, really important to us. So I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
I'll echo that, and also I appreciate what Mel brought up. Excuse me. Thank you so much for this presentation. It was fascinating. I've gotten emails from both of you, but especially from you, so thank you. It's nice to see your face. And also thank you for having the vegetarian option of the hot lunch, because my kids really appreciate that. I'm just curious to piggyback off of the idea of, full stomach is so crucial for learning, and the student engagement. Is there any opportunity for students to help with the actual meal preparation? I'm sure there are certain rules in place that need to be followed, but I'm wondering if there's a way to bring them in that way.
We can look into this, but I think it will be a lot of safety and liability as well, and not only food safety, but also maybe liability. So we can look into this if you have specific ideas.
I was wondering specifically, like, for example, something that is, not with hot food, but like salad preparation. Something where maybe the kids could, again, I don't know how it would work out exactly, but something where they could kind of have their hands on the food they might be able to see later and then feel a little bit more ownership over it and maybe more enticed to try it.
I guess we can pilot this maybe with one of the classes, one of the teachers, and see if we can make something work. You have another idea?
It would, as much as I would love to do this, I'm the government regulations person of the team. It would probably have to do, since the food would be going to the students as well, we'd probably have to train them in the mandatory trainings that we do with our staff. And I'm interested to see how supervision would go with minors in the kitchen. I don't know if there's like a different way that we'd have to supervise. I don't know if the government has something in place for that. Like, we've talked about this with the nutrition committee. I know that there are like other countries that do this, and I think it's really awesome. We watched a video, I think it was Japan, students coming in and like cooking food for themselves and then sitting down and eating it together, and it was very beautiful. But I think it's hard when we have a lot of government
Regulation.
regulation and kind of like surveillance on what we do. We do get audited every 3 years. Well, we get an audit every year, but it's for a different thing.
2 times.
Yeah,
2 times every year.
but it's something that we have been talking about and looking into. It's just how can we do it and things like that.
Maybe framing it as like an internal field trip,
Yeah.
so that it wouldn't necessarily mess with the flow of the whole operation, but for the kids to really have an opportunity to see what you're doing, because it's amazing and it affects them every single day, and mostly, most kids as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
There's just piggybacking on your question. Now, we send high school students to the Montgomery Technical School who are going into chef programs and that. Is there something that could be done for some students here too, as well, in that program?
So what we have right now is the work experience is under the supervision of the special education teacher and staff. We don't really hire the students. It's just the teacher have something in the curriculum that you would like to utilize our equipment maybe or our resources. So I guess I would refer to each teacher or each department for this question. And we're willing to do what we can.
Jason, did you have anything?
Jason, I think, is gone, but Todd is now.
Okay. Todd, do you want to say anything?
No, I think this is great. It might be fun to, at some future point or at the end of the year, just to see how many, it sounds like you do this kind of in an iterative way every day, but how many kids are opting for something that's not pizza or chicken tenders? Like a little bar graph over time. Like if you guys are really successful in one of your fusion options or your restaurant line or whatever, and 50% of the kids opt for something that's not the default on that day, it might be fun just to see, what those things are, because presumably those are the items that have more of the vegetables and the fruits and all this local stuff we're trying to emphasize. So just some sort of update report, just so the community knows what's working, and it'd be fun to see what bombed too. We thought this would be great. We put this out here and like nobody ate it. So we didn't rerun that one. But I like the presentation. Appreciate what you guys are doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. And I do want to add that our fruit and vegetable options are offered with every entree that the kids take. And even though you see chicken tenders, our chicken tenders are made with whole grain breading. They are also whole muscle white meat chicken tenders. They're low sodium. Same thing with our pizza. It's whole grain crust. It is, sauce with low fat cheese. And we try to make our, like I said, as a dietitian, unquote, unhealthier options as healthy as we possibly can.
Thank you. I had a few things. So one, just thank you so much for the presentation. My own kids will be happy. I'm going to put more money in their a la carte now, knowing these such intentional choices. I also, my middle school buddies would be very upset if I didn't advocate for more sushi because they get upset about that, especially the 10 a.m. They feel the 10 a.m. lunch kids eat all the sushi and the later lunches don't get it. So if possible,
Which school?
Just want to put that out there.
Which school is this?
At Balkenwood.
Balkenwood,
yeah, and Walsh Valley. I'm friends with a few middle schoolers around the area. But the question I had, and these might dip more into policy 808. So if Megan, if you want me to hold, but the few questions I did have were for students that stay after for the late bus that fall within that 16%, do we provide any dinner program or meals for them to take home when they qualify?
Unfortunately not. We are only approved for free, for breakfast and lunch meals
Okay.
in our schools. Yeah.
Okay. I'd just be curious, and maybe this will come up in 808, if for our after-school programs for students that fall into that, if that could be an option or something to explore, if it made sense based on your expertise. And then the next two questions I have are like concretely in 808, so I can hold. But thank you so much.
If I could also just add something to what Mo just said. So after school program, which does get approved for like supper or a snack or things like that, over by the government, is only approved if our free and reduced numbers were higher than what they are. I forget what the number
It's
is.
over 40%.
40%. So that is the reason why we are unable to, on our end, do it.
Thank you.
Thank you both so much. If you don't mind staying for, while we walk through these policies.
We're having fun here.
And then if there's any other, thank you, any other
Maybe we're
questions?
just snacks, no?
He's buying you lunch.
Just, policy, we're fun
Well, you can
here.
come back next time and we can do some taste testing here.
Okay.
The whole year project is just focused on nutrition.
I actually want to mention, we were able to eat food that your team had provided last week, and it was really delicious. We had that dinner, so thank you.
Thank you.
So, as I said earlier, in introducing today's agenda, we have 812 in your packet. 812 was updated back in January. We didn't have a chance to do a deeper dive like we've had today, so there's an opportunity to go back and, if there are questions specifically that you have relative to that policy, there's no proposed changes today. Again, it was just to try to give life to what it looks like in action, both for the policy and the AR. With 808, as maybe you've noticed, which is on the last page of your packet, there are some minor revisions to it that are for any, questions today as well. So that's the lay of the land, and back to you for any questions that you have as committee.
You want me to start? You all have questions? Okay. The questions I had, one were, do students reapply each year for the classification? Okay.
Yes, so there's a grace period of 30 school days. And after this, if you don't apply again, you will get kicked out. So this year will be October 16th.
Okay.
So yes, every year.
And that is the state mandate.
Okay, got it. And then I know this would get really tricky, so I'm acknowledging that on the front end. It just comes to mind for me, the students that have a la carte possibilities and those that don't. So wondering, do any of the students that qualify for free and reduced lunch, do we supplement their a la carte funds at all? Meaning, like, I'm assuming that if you qualify for free and reduced lunch, you get the basic $3.50 or $4.50
No.
options.
So the free item is the meal, like you said, the full meal.
Yeah.
A la carte is optional, and it's up to a parent. So some parents can block a la carte, some parents can choose to add fund for a la carte.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm thinking. I might have the misunderstanding. A la carte sometimes has different special options or things that aren't available. Is that not true?
That is not true. So
Great.
all of our students have access to everything on the menu. So everything that I read, all of our students have access to that.
Okay.
Think of a la carte as like if they wanted an extra slice of pizza.
Okay.
Or if they wanted a bag of chips. Like that is what a la carte means. It's an individual item that is not encompassed by the meal.
So, yes. So I'm getting
So
really
sushi
into
is
the
a la
weeds.
carte.
So, like, if kids are on free and reduced lunch, can they get that bag of chips?
They can if they bring in cash. But if
Okay.
they're trying to charge their account, they cannot.
Okay.
Unless there is fund in their account.
But can I just clarify, like,
Yes.
from my mind, so they could do the build your own hoagie?
Yes.
That's an available
Yeah, I get
option, so all
that.
that. Okay, I was making sure I was clear on it.
No. So I guess I understand they don't qualify under the federal funding to receive a la carte funds. Just a curiosity would be if there's other ways to supplement, because if I'm a kid that cannot afford the a la carte things, it's it's just something that stands out or could be an inequity that other kids notice. So,
Well, we also, so when kids take the full meal, technically they get the entree, they get 2 fruits, 2 vegetables, a grain component, and a milk. And starting since last year, I also added, especially for the younger kids, a cheese stick. So I've encompassed all of that. I got all the math work in our meal items so that they can take that extra fruit, extra vegetable, and the cheese stick as a snack for later on if they would like.
Great.
That's why we also offer prepackaged fruits and vegetables so that the children can take it as snack for later in the day.
great. And fully acknowledging, I'm just talking, I'm sure they are well fed, and I appreciate so much the intentionality, more talking on the social emotional side if don't have access or funds for those other items. So that was my only question. Those were my only 2 questions. I don't know if others have other ones to ask. Okay. Good. So Ken, we do that at the end.
What you do, basically, since there's no policy, so no changes to policy 812, you'll just mark that as reviewed, date with a review date. As far as 808 goes, you will also mark as reviewed, but you will announce at the next board meeting that non-substantive changes were made to the job titles.
Okay. And Todd, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask if you had any questions or comments on 808.
Nope, all good, thanks.
All right. Thanks. Back to you, Megan. Just kidding.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for being here today. You are welcome to stay for the balance of our agenda, but you also don't have to.
Thank
I
you.
believe that you probably have a lot to accomplish between now and the end of today, so thank you again for being here and your
Thank you,
time.
everybody. Thank you. Take care.
So the balance of our agenda is truly for discussion, and I would like to group them sort of in 3 different parts. The first being items A through C. These I would describe as they're not ready, we're not bringing a proposal in front of you, and for various reasons, but they're more, I guess, academically oriented items. The first one, AR 134.1, we passed a policy last year, the first version of the use of generative artificial intelligence in education. There's just so much excitement and interest, I think, and also fear, all wound up in that topic. But we've been spending a lot of time as a leadership team and then with our staff to talk about the impact of AI on our work. And you'll see another installment of that with our CCOB meeting coming up. So I think this is an item that will continue to ping back and forth between CCOB, practical application here in terms of how we do the rulemaking around it. So I don't believe this is going to be the discussion item necessarily ready to go in October or even November, but you'll continue to hear from us about how it's evolving in our day-to-day work because it's here. And again, I think we're meeting it with, while the balance may have been more in favor of a fear, I think we're now more towards this is interesting. This is how do we grapple with this and make it work in our schools and in our work settings. So that's that topic. Field trips over time, I know have had, we get questions about that. There is a policy, it's actually called field trips and class trips, and the last time we looked at it, we made some distinctions around what that means. So there's an opportunity, I think, perhaps here like we did with nutritional services, just to say, here's why we got here, here's what field trips look like. We've gone, in my time here, which now is a while, from having field trips just be experiences that teachers decided, and it kind of depended on the teacher what that experience looked like, to trying to build a more systematic approach to making sure that all kids got experiences and those we reference them as guaranteed experiences. So maybe that's approach, to think about if we're going to do any updates there, do we name a guaranteed experience? So there's more clarity in the community about what that means to us. And hopefully we continue to celebrate that being the foundation, like we want kids to all have an experience as opposed to some or few. AR 215, promotion, acceleration, and retention. You'll see some, in the near future, some recommendations around some changes to timelines, and it'll give us an opportunity to talk through what that means in this context. We hear about acceleration, and we've talked about that in the math context. This is a little more broader than that, and in some ways narrower. So we'll bring, have some discussion about that and propose recommendations in the future. The next set of the three. Absolutely.
Can I ask one question? No, I just wanted to go back to AI. I don't think policy committee would be the appropriate place to do it, but just wanted to ask around the curriculum committee at some point if we wanted to revisit either how it's baked in to the curriculum and or professional development for teachers. Maybe that's on Monday and I didn't review the agenda yet. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I got my pre-work this weekend to do there. Great, and then.
I appreciate the promotion, though. Thank you for.
There you go.
Well timed.
So, everyone, come to curriculum on Monday. But did also want to say thank you for how the policy from the spring was implemented. I saw it in the materials coming home from the middle school yesterday of needing to sign off on AI and having a good conversation. So appreciate the work that was done by the team there.
Thank you. So, we are excited about Monday's presentation, so thanks. I'll say it again, just in case. So the next three on the agenda, D, E, and F, also will be grouped together and looked at probably October. Annually, we do talk about assignment of students. That's the partner school plan. So annually, that's reviewed at the policy committee. So that's that 206-4 AR, which we'll bring back like we do annually, talk about that, talk about the status, how many students get the data on that. We're still settling into this year, still registering students. In fact, thank you to LaToya who pulled this today for me. We've got about 978 registrations this year. So annually, just to put that back in front of people, we welcome approximately 1,000 new students each year. And that's, we'll go through like sort of the nuts and bolts of what that entails, make sure that, any questions get answered. Sometimes there's confusion about what do I have to provide to be a resident, what suffices. So we'll do a little bit of an overview when we go through those policies about what the process looks like and so forth. So our registration team, who will be a part of that, are really busy right now. So that's why we didn't have the ability to bring that up in this particular meeting, but it will be in the fall. Expect that to be October and November. We also talked about re-registration processes in the past, and it will be another opportunity for us to discuss that again and what that looks like and the scope of that. So that's that grouping of policies, and then the final one, policy G, or item G, policy regarding commercial advertising. We talked about this a bit last year, and this, it's, I think, an item that is worthy of discussion as it relates to budget opportunities or fund revenue streams. And this would be akin to, like, could the local restaurant put a banner out on, Arnold Field to promote, and we get something out of that. So we don't currently do that. So this would be an opportunity for us to just have discussions. It's just something we want to do. What does that mean? What does it look like? So I'm thinking it might be an opportunity for us to bring that back, and certainly in time with the upcoming, we're always talking about budget, but soon enough we'll be developing it for next year. So those are the items that you can expect to hear more about starting in October.
Hello. Thank you for this. This actually worked out well. I'm glad that I didn't know curriculum was doing AI because it just flags for me. It makes a lot of sense, the synergy of like we're doing the AI policy and then we're talking about it. We haven't done that before in the past, so thank you for that alignment and thinking about how we can do that in other spaces. I was curious about 236. I don't think that I don't think we need to bring it back to policy committee because that went through, but flagging it for whatever other appropriate committee because they're wanting to follow up on some of the open questions and what we were talking about in implementing the ARs, so.
Yeah, I think, and the three of us that have been doing the professional learning, leading up to the beginning of this year and throughout this year, we've been very intentional about how we're embedding those updates and the training that we're providing to all staff. I was with Kimberly Frazier. We shared, with all of our bus drivers on opening day, the updates to the policy, what it means. So everyone has had exposure to the revisions so far this year, and we will continue to build upon that throughout this year. So we are positioned to give an update to families. I know Kimberly's working on that, and certainly we spend a lot of time here and can bring back some of those summary updates to this committee as well. So we know that that's a topic of interest, and I feel like really good about it didn't drop. It has really been an intentional build from where we left off in the spring.
Yeah, just to add to that, not just an update, right, but an information session that people will be able to come to, community members, and ask questions, find out how we implemented. So it's not just an update that we'll push out. It's something that we want to continue to be interactive.
I just have a clarifying question. So you were saying that A through C would be discussed in October, or is it, I just want to clarify for myself.
Let me go back and be clear about the timeline for those particular ones. It's probable that AR 215 will be discussed there. Field trips we'll talk about. I think we can provide an update for that in October. AR 134.1 will not be in October.
Okay.
Or I don't expect it to be. I don't think we're ready.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yep, no, great question. And that's all the administration has at this time.
Hello. I wanted to ask if there are any comments, Amy, on Zoom. Ms. Rivera, do you have anything that you would like? Okay. And then I'm sure this is top of mind, but with policy 202, 200, and 206-4, I don't know how that might affect budgeting and rostering for the spring. So if we need to move that up sooner so that when we do distributions, it's easier for you all, just wanted to put that on the radar.
No, I think October, I'm anticipating us to begin talking about that bulk. So everything that is going to move up one slot, except for probably the AR on the AI.
Okay.
AR and AI.
Got it. Thank you. So Ken help me, but we need to propose for adoption 257 and 827.
Correct.
Okay.
Propose those two for adoption, mark 812 reviewed, and announce this non-substantive change to 808. That's
okay.
it.
And
nothing for first reading.
Okay. And Mel and Abby, you're on board with that? Okay. Okay, great. Anything else, Dr. Manelli? Okay. Our next meeting will be October 3rd. Not sure if there'll be snacks or not, but we'll keep you posted, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.